So greetings everyone once again, and welcome to the 107th session of the online Optom learning series OOLS. And today we have with us Dr. Charles D. Benedetto. He is an optometrist from Italy. He obtained his diploma in opticians in 2009 and then went ahead to achieve the diploma in contactology at the Regional Institute of Optical and Optometric Studies, IRSOO in Vinci 2012. He also has achieved his optometry degree at the University of Florence in 2013. In 2020, he was a part of an expert commissioner which categorized representatives for the qualifying exams for the profession of opticians in the country. He is also a member of the European Academy of Orthokeratology, and he participates in various professional refresher courses at national and international conferences and seminars. He is currently working as a private optometrist at various locations, and he also lectures and tutors at the University of Florence for the outpatient optometry and contactology lessons. His main forte is myopia control, and thereby he collaborates with ophthalmologists and also works very closely together with them to treat patients not only for myopia control but also for certain corneal diseases, namely keratoconus, post-transplants, and then he takes ahead and fits contact lenses for these patients for better visual outcome. And very recently, he's also associated with the World of Optometry Organization as the clinical director, and he influences the organization by his optometry knowledge. And today he will talk to us about two very interesting cases where he fitted patients with orthokeratology, and he will take us through these two cases. So welcome, Dr. Charles, onto our platform. Let me just leave the screen time to you.
Yeah, thank you, FB, for this presentation. Thank you very much. For me, it's a big pleasure to be here to share my experience here with other students or optometrists from all around the world. So thank you again. Thanks for this opportunity. And so today we are talking about orthokeratology, Ortho-K, two cases of orthokeratology, two strange cases. The first one will be the Ortho-K for eye myopia. So not frequently case, but interesting. And the other one, the second part, we'll talking about Ortho-K for hyperopia and presbyopia. So not so frequently also, but very interesting. Okay, so first of all, I start with this slide. So in the left side, we have my first clinic. My clinic is in Lucca, a town 40 minutes from Florence, 20 to Pisa in Tuscany. And I love the world of the contact lenses. I love Ortho-K, scleral lenses. As you can see, here I have my instruments. So slit lamp, a barometer, the new one, biometer, it will arrive next month. This is very important for the axial length of the eye. So, there is this kind of topic, the myopia control in childhood is very important for us today, but in the next years, So it's very important to take some attention for this topic. And here in the right side, we have Ortho-K lens applied in myopic eyes. Next, I explain to you. So This one is a disclaimer slide, so let me, okay. I have no direct financial or proprietary in any companies, products or services mentioned in this presentation. The content and format is presented without commercial bias and doesn't claim superiority to any commercial product or services. And here we go. The first one, as I said before, is orthokeratology for height myopia. And the patient was a 27-year-old female subject wearing soft contact lenses or glasses. The history is that the patient suffered from myopia from the age of 8. You know, now it's normal having myopia in child like 8 or 7 years old, but 20 years ago is not so usually. But the correct myopia is very high, so associated with astigmatism. In the past, the girl doesn't suffer from other eye problems besides their myopia, but this continued to get worse. And the family, the only one was the mother, very myopic, and the other members of family aren't. The situation was the visual acuity without contact lenses is what about in the right eye minus 7.50 dioptrics of myopia with astigmatism of minus 1.0, and the vision was 20/20. The left one was minus 7.50 with minus 2 of astigmatism. So as you can see in the left one, the left eye, it's so high. And the visual acuity with the contact lenses, soft contact lenses, was 20/20 for both, but the lenses were minus 6.50 with minus 0.75 of astigmatism, and the left one was minus 6.50 with minus 1.75 astigmatism. Here the vision was about under 20/20. So the girl was abusing too much of the monthly soft contact lenses, as the glasses are very heavy on the nose and therefore not well accepted. She also realized that vision was almost natural when wearing contact lenses, while with glasses the vision was distorted and altered with glasses. You know, when you have a myopia like this, there is a huge difference between the glasses, the vision from glasses, and the contact lenses. So it's normal. As you know, and you can see, it's better to do some checkpoints during the day without contacts with this kind of prescription. So if you're using too much hours soft contact lenses every day, every hour, it's not so good, because in case of eye myopia, you can cause hypoxia and possible neovascularization. So important to take some hours, 10 minutes with the glasses, with the lens off. And we start with the case. We start obviously with the visual acuity. Next, with the topography. Topography is the most important thing here. I usually do 5 or 6 picture for eye, because I'll do an average for all. Is important because sometimes can change, little change. So we see the picture, we see the colors, the map, but now we have to focus on the SIM-K. So the 2 parameters of the cornea. I here 4 measures. So here 41.65 and 43.58. Here 41.48, 43.30, 41.20, 43.25, and 42.05, 44.11. So we have to choose as you know, the flatter K of the cornea. So we have to do an average. As you can see, 41.65, 41.48, 41.20, 42. So the average is about 41.50. This one is it was for the left eye. So we decided to try the Ortho-K solution. Ortho-K solution will be the only solution for her. No glasses, no contacts during the day, so the health is good, and she's free for every day. And the first trial set lenses applied the right one contact lenses was a contact OK lens with 42.50 of base curve and -4 of target power in 5A geometry. This is the geometry of the company. In 1060 millimeters of diameter and Boxton XO material. The left one was a contact OK lens with a base curve of 41.50 with -6 of target power in 5E geometry, the same diameters and same material. As you can see, 41.50 is the first choice, the result of the average that we have seen before. And as you can see, it's important to have the correct base curve. Not so important to have the target power so close to the originary dioptric of myopia. So the target power here for the right one and 6 for the second one for the left. The 4 is not good. We have to do the over-refraction. It's important. It's fundamental. So we do the over-refraction, and next we can take the final parameters. So the over-refraction were the right eye -3.25, a division was 2020, and the left one was -1.75, and division 2020 with the lenses on. So the choice of ortho, yeah, perfect. The choice of Ortho-K lenses was also chosen to control myopic progression. I know the girl was already adult by now, but the myopia is getting worse, so we can try. Tomorrow, she will be free without nothing, without glasses, without contact lenses, but also during this year, we can control myopia progression. So it's nice. Okay, next we have to do the slit length examination of the contact lenses. So after installing the flourishing, we wait a couple of minutes before insert the lenses, because it's important to take some minutes, 2 minutes before, because the tear must stabilize. So when the tear is okay, we can take our pictures, videos, or observatory. So here we go. It's important to obviously to have the blue light filter on the slit lamp with the yellow filter if you have. And here it were very good. Both lenses were perfect. The support on the cornea were perfect, and both were well centered on the cornea. So very good for the first choice. And after teaching the girl how to handle contact lenses, we also try them for 1 night. Always I do 2 appointments in clinics. The first one is this one. So visual acuity, explain everything, try 30 minutes the lenses applied on. Next, go back to the clinic. I see the visual acuity, the over-refraction, the slit lamp examination, and next we stop. We remove them, we have to teach the girl, the boy, the guy, the child, the lady, because it's important to take few more minutes to explain the management of Ortho-K lenses. Every lenses, but Ortho-K especially, because we want to be clear with the patient, with us. So it's important to teach the difference between the soft contact lenses and RGP lenses. And the girl was using, okay, the contact lenses, the soft contact lenses, but it's different. Now the mirror from the wall, you have to put on the table. The lenses go from the table to the face. The management, the soap, the washing, it's different. So be careful, make attention to this point. It's important, because this will be one of the more things you should pay more attention to during the years, now and during the years. Okay, here we go. This one is the left lens applied on the left eye, and it was good, very good, as you can see. In fact, the lens was well centered on the cornea. As you can see, as you know, you have black zone in the center where the thin is little, so the clearance is little thick in the center. Next, we have the more curve on the medium periphery, where you can see the ring, the yellow ring of the reverse part of the lens here. Next, the flattened zone, and then the edge lift. So this is the typical picture of Ortho-K lenses applied on a myopic eye. And this one is correct. If sometimes it's not so good like this. So, for example, if a lens is too steep, you can find a situation like this. You know, too clearance on the center is not good. You have to choose a flatter base curve. You have to change the zone here. This one is a flat lens, you know. This lens, you have to step the base curve. And this one, it's one of the topography left eye before the treatment. As you can see, as you know, the myopic eye is more long than the normality. So you have a curve, more curve in the center, and then going to the periphery is go more flatter, like a football ball or an egg. So our job is about to flatten the zone, incurve the medium periphery, and flatten the peripheral, extreme peripheral. This one is the 3D map of the same topography. And this one is the topography after the first night with trial lenses. Yeah, very good, very good. You can see the flat zone in the center, the blue zone, and the curved zone, the ring, the curved zone, the medium periphery, and the flattered zone in the periphery. As you can see, is well centered. So the job is very good. This one is the 3D map. 3D map. So flat in the center, curve in the medium periphery, and flat in the periphery. As you can see from the topography, the situations where the myopic eye was initially more curved. In fact, The topography before the treatment showed warmer colors, red area, and therefore more curved point on the corneal surface, the center, and colder colors, flatter areas in the periphery. After the night, the lens left a circular imprint footprint that defined the success of the treatment. The treatment is also observed in 3D maps. After the night, in fact, we see the imprint realized by the lens on the corneal surface on the corneal 360. The image looks like a volcano crater. Flat area in the center, medium peripheral ring curve, and flat in the periphery. Note, that's important thing. The centering of the treatments is very important. It's so important for the successful of control of progression of myopia. If you have this ring not so centered like this with the pupil, maybe in the right zone, left zone, the upper and bottom, it's not so good for the progression of myopia. So these points are the points after the first night. What should we do? The checkup after the first night, obviously with the lens removed. So the patients come back to our clinic and we start with a natural vision. I think this is important in case of medium-low myopia because it's a very motivational moment. When the patient, the boy, the guy, the girl can see 20/20 without nothing, then the day before it was different. It's a very interesting moment for him, for her, for the parents, and for us. So these points is very interesting for this case. If you have an eye myopia, I don't think so, because you need an refraction for see well. So don't do it. Only for medium or low myopia. And next, we can see the slit lamp. We can have a slit lamp observation with white lights to observe cornea and conjunctiva, and then with fluorescent and blue filter and the yellow filter if you have, to see the condition of the cornea and the possibility highlight some suffering to the surface of the cornea. Next, we have to do the refraction, obviously, and then the most important, the topography. So in this case, at the slit lamp, it was a very good situation. Both eyes were clear without sign of epithelial distress. And that's interesting. The visits after only 1 hour of treatment with trial set lenses was this one. So on the right eye was minus 4.50 of myopia with minus 0.50 of astigmatism, and the vision was 20/20. It's crazy. And the left one was minus 4.75 with minus 1 of astigmatism, and the vision was 20/20. So very great situation, you know, because if you remember, we start in the left eye with 7.50 with minus 2 of dioptrics of astigmatism. So with 1 night, very interesting. Since myopia is so high, I decided to order contact lenses AX geometry for eye myopia. It's a special geometry for high myopia. Then recalculating the over-refraction base curve topographies, the lenses, the final lenses were in the right eye, in a context, okay, 42 in base curve with minus 8 of target power in AX geometry, and the same parameter, 10.60 diameter millimeters, and Boston Ixo material. The left one, the same parameters, but base curve is 41 and mine 8.50. And the endings. After 8th month of treatment, the girl is satisfied, me too, and the visus during the day is ideal, 20/20. Periodic checks are carried out regularly every 3 months. It's important. lens well managed, and the eye is healthy. Every 3 months is important because we have to see the situation, to evaluate, to speak with the boy if you have. So it's important every 3 months for me. Ortho-K is an excellent alternative to glasses and contact lenses. In this case, it also represented an alternative to surgery, as the girl didn't want to undergo this, and due to the myopia, the success of the surgery wasn't guaranteed given the high myopia. That's an important thing. This is a great solution. If you have an eye myopia, don't worry about it. You can try. If you have an eye myopia, you go into surgery, I don't know, feel so good. So attention, not to dare too much with myopia over the limits or borderlines. Myopia or astigmatism may remain not totally corrected. This may require glasses during the evening, okay? But this is Ortho-K. So if you don't like, if she doesn't like, just stop. Then you can take some days and then we return to the beginning. So it's different from the surgery. So you can try. You can try if you want to, without problems. Lens maintenance is fundamental. Periodic and intensive washing, in addition to the daily detergents, also allows a more stable vision in addition to good hygiene. Working on a small distance, micron, a lens not perfectly clean may cause small alteration in the footprint realized by the lens and consequently a penalized vision. Okay, so this is important. You have to do the ordinary washing, but each 10 or days or 2 weeks, you have to do an intensive one because this will be the best solution. Okay, I finished the first one, the first case.
All right.
We can stop by now.
Yeah. So thank you so much. The first case was really very interesting, I would say, because it's a case of high myopia, and I think people normally think that Ortho-K is for low to moderate myopia. Sometimes we are scared to go for the high myopia. But thank you for sharing your experience with us. So there's one question here, Dr. Charles, which says that in your experience with fitting, because this case also had astigmatism, do you think that there will be a difference between with the rule and against the rule astigmatism? And would you do something different?
If you have an astigmatism more height, you mean?
Astigmatism, which is with the rule 180 versus 90 axis. If you have patients with 180 axis or 90 axis.
If you have, okay, in this case, we had a huge myopia. So it's more easier because, with astigmatism with 2 dioptrics and myopic of quite 8 dioptrics, it's a small size than myopia. Yeah. When you have a different astigmatism or a little myopia, we can try astigmatic lenses, toric lenses. We have, depends from the topography. We can study the case at slit lamp with the flourishing. You will see the not perfect support on the cornea. You will see the clearance like classic RGP lenses. So we have to change the geometry in the specific area of astigmatism.
That's right. So it's based on the corneal astigmatism. So in this case, it was not necessary for toric.
No,
Spherical.
absolutely.
gave you a good fitting. I mean, the picture
Yeah.
you showed was, I guess, wonderful picture. Very
Yeah.
difficult to get that kind of a fitting, and it worked out well. So you did not use toric for this patient,
Of
right?
course. Yeah. The picture was good. So it was good like this. So if it's not so necessary, you can continue with the spherical lenses.
Very good. All
Yeah.
right. And the other question is, you did mention that over refraction is important because we need to finalize, the lens power which you want to dispense to your patient. So, do you think that over refraction will change the fit? Because the trial lens has, in your case, was -4 and -6, the power of the trial lens, what you use for the patient. So, will the over refraction power change somewhere in the fit, or it doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Okay.
matter. Depends. If you have an overrefraction of -8, so you have -9 of myopia, you have -1 of target power of a trial set lens. Depends. Okay, be careful. But in this case, you can have the same. In fact, the final lenses were the same picture,
That's
or the
right.
same tweezer, the slit lamp with the fluorescein and the blue filter, the same.
Yes, right. So can we say that if the patient has, for example, -8 power, you should choose a higher power of trial lens and not put a -1? Do you think that is good?
Yeah, you have to choose the more strong, more height
Yeah, yeah.
of the trial set lenses. That's the reason you have to update your trial set. You have to have a lot of target powers
Okay.
because it's important. And I have also now an especially set for eye myopia in AX geometry. And there I have target power already from -5 until -8. So it's better to work like this. But if you don't have it, don't worry. You can try. You can try.
Okay, okay. So that's a good advice. Choose your target power lens or the trial power lens as close as possible or as high as
Of
possible to the
course.
patient power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have any experience in daytime Ortho-K lens, which has recently been very popular, where people use Ortho-K for daytime? Do you have any experience for those patients? Do you fit them?
Yeah. Only one,
Okay.
because it's not so comfortable during the day.
Okay.
So now we have a lot of choice for control of my progression of myopia, like soft contact lenses, uh, glasses solution. So we can choose other solutions. But 6 or 7 years ago, it weren't like this. It was different. They
True.
didn't have. So this solution, the Ortho-K lenses applied during the day, it was the only very interesting solution for control the progression of myopia and to see well without glasses. But is this is an RGP lens, so for young guys, it's not so simple.
Mhm.
It's not so comfortable. When the parents are okay with their minds, okay, my son, it's I have to do this. I have to do so. I speak with my son and I teach to him to how to handle, how to wear during the day. So it's not so frequently to use him during the day.
All right. Okay. Okay. So I think we have taken a few questions. We can move ahead with the second case, Dr. Charles. Thank you so much for answering those. Yeah, we can
You're
proceed.
welcome. I continue. Okay,
Yeah.
B?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I forgot this. Here, I put on some studies for the control of myopia in a child. So, if you want, just send me an email. At the end, I will send to you with no problems. That's interesting. This is not our topic for today, but it's very interesting. And now we are talking about Ortho-K for hyperopia and presbyopia. That's, I think, it's another interesting case, not so frequently, but it's important. In this case, the patient is a 50 years old female subject wearing multifocal glasses, no contact lenses. The patient suffered only for hyperopia and presbyopia, and she doesn't suffer from other eye problems beside her hyperopia. So the only problems here is hyperopia and a little presbyopia for the age, obviously. In family, the same. Nobody suffers from severe eye problems. Okay, and the visual acuity without contact lenses, or of course, or glasses, were both eyes +1, simple. +1 with an addition of +2.25 of presbyopia. And the dominant eye was the right one. That's important. That's important for the monovision, for the read. The situation before coming was this. The lady didn't use contact lenses, but that she no longer wants to wear due to the resulting discomfort and do the continuous fogging to the mask, the pandemic. The lady works as a representative, so she needs to have a good vision at all distances, from driving the car to the near vision for reading the iPad or the smartphone. So Ortho-K lenses in this case would answer good vision at all distances without the need to use glasses or contacts during the day. So that's the reason I speak with them. But how does the lens work? It's different from the case of myopia. In case of hyperopia, we have to think in a completely opposite way that of myopia. We need to incurve the corneal surface instead of flattening, like in myopia. To achieve this, the lens must have a narrower base curve than the corneal curvature one. Obviously, we have some limits respect myopia. In fact, having to blend the cornea, the treatment can be performed on 8 dioptrics, on hyperopia. Personally, I was able to correct hyperopia up to 5 dioptrics. In myopia, I've done -9. If in this case of myopia, the lens formed negative meniscus, like in the left side of the picture, in the case of hyperopia, it will be necessary to form a positive one, like in the right part of the picture, as you can see. And it's necessary to have those points for the Ortho-K in case of hyperopia. In the left side, you can see a picture of a lens applied on in a hyperopic eye. Explain you after. But we have to have 2 or 5 millimeters of fluo in the center, as you can see in the picture. The picture helps you to learn these points. Next, the secondary support area, as you can see the black zone after the center spot. The medium peripheral fluo ring, again, so 360 fluorescent clearance for the peripheral, and another support area, another flatter area on the peripheral. So curve, flat, curve, flat, and the final edge lift for the tear film. Obviously, the contact lens must be centered. That's important. You know, if you have this kind of rings not so well centered, it's not a good thing for him and for us. And we have 1 or 2 millimeters of movement dynamic of the lens when blinking. There we go. First of all, we have the topography. Topography, like before, it's better to have 5 or 6 each eye for taking average. So the thing, we takes our thin K, so the flatter K, the steeper K, and we have 44.767, 45.51, 44.99, 45.98, 44.81, 45.56, 44.99, 45.89. So if we do the average of the flatter, we have about 44.80. Yeah, 80. I didn't have it, so I chosen to put on the left. This one, it was the left eye, yeah? The left topography. 44.50 I put on the left one. So the first trial set lenses applied was where the right was context, okay, Ortho Plus is the geometry for the Hyperopia, with the base curve of 44 and +3 of target power in 5E geometry in diameter 10-6E millimeters in Boxton XO material. And the left one was the context okay Ortho Plus lenses in 44.50, this one, with +3 of target power in the same parameters. The over-refraction, in this case, we have a lot of dioptrics than the beginning, the +1 of the hyperopia. So the over-refraction is with minus. So the right eye was -1.75, and the reason was 2020. And the left one was -1.75, vision 2020. So we must not forget about presbyopia. So to compensate for these two, we have to do the monovision technique also. Monovision, as you know, consists in the perfect correction of the dominant eye from a far distance, while the non-dominant eye is for far intentionally left myopic. Is basically a compromise between two needs, too far and those for the near. So with the dominant eye, we'll see better for the distance, and for the other one, the non-dominant eye, it will be more myopic, more strong, for see better on the reading distance. The result is that we see well from a distance if the dominant eye is correct well from a distance, and we tolerate some visual defect in the dominant eye. It's important to division with both. At the slit lamp, the examination was after of the lens correction, the same. We wait a couple of minutes before observe the lenses, and next we observe. Again, everything was good. Perfect supports on the cornea for both lenses and well centered. Again, after teaching the lady how to handle contact lenses, we also try them for one night. Here it's more important than before because the lady didn't use contacts, so we have to teach to spend a lot of minutes for teaching this. Here we go. We have the left one side, the left contacts on the eye. As you can see, we explained just before. We have the center with the incurve, with the more clearance, more friction. Next, the medium periphery, flatter zone. Next, a ring 360 of the incurve zone and flatter zone, and the edge lift, final edge lift. Here you have a flat lens. So, like before, we have to choose a steep base curve. This one is a steep lens, so we have to choose a flatter curve. And this is one of the topography of the left eye. This was a before treatment, and this is after the one-night treatment with the trial lens. I think it's very nice because it's only one-night treatment, trial set lens. So I think it's good. As you can see, if you see the dioptrics, the curve, the number, you will see the huge difference between the small part of the eye. In the center, we have 46.29 dioptrics. Next, we have at the limits of the pupil 42.17. So quite 5 dioptrics difference in the pupil, a huge difference. Next, we return back to 46.53, 46.83, yeah, and next we return to the flattened zone. So we have a lot of part of the cornea changing. This is the reason we have the result. This is the 3D map before treatment, 3D map after one-night treatment. The same, curve, flat, flat. And the average is a curve, more curved than the beginning, in fact. As we can see from the topography, the situations where the hypermetropic eye was initially more flattened. In fact, after the night, the lens left an imprint that curved the corneal surface. Already after the first night of testing, as can be seen from the topography, the center has curved, the middle periphery flattened, and the periphery curved. The result is more curved surface than the beginning one. The treatment is also well observed in 3D maps. After the night, in fact, we see the imprint realized by the lens on the corneal surface on the cornea 360. At the sling, the length was very good. Both eyes were clear, without sign of epithelial distress. So this is crazy. The vision after one night was 20/20 with trial set lenses. You know, this is strange because I remember you that we are using 2 kind of lenses, more strong, more high, +3 than the +1 of the hyperopia. So it's normal to have a speedy treatment than the normality. The 20/20, we can have it after some days. When you start with the lenses, normal lenses like +1 or +1.50 in this case, this kind of result will be after maybe 4 or 5 days. This was an incredible result because it was simply using +3 lenses so of +1 of hyperopia. And the final lenses were context occurrence Ortho Plus on the right eye, the 44 base curve with +1.50 in same diameter and material, And the left one was the same parameters, but base curve 44.50 confirmed from the beginning with plus 2.25 of target power. I remember you that this one is the non-dominant eye. So at the ending, after 1 year of treatment, the lady is satisfied. Me too. The visits during the day is ideal, 2020. Again, periodic checks are carried out regularly every 3 months. Length monitoring is well managed and the eye is healthy. In case of prolonged evening, that's interesting point. Evening reading, I advise the lady to use a pair of glasses in addition to the treatment, about +1 dioptrics, +150 on both eyes. That's important, you know, because the lady is about 51 years old, so the addition 2.25. So it's normal if you have an hobby or if you use if you read too much, some hours a day, it's better to use if you need reading glasses up. But when she go to the bed before sleeping, she used to read some pages of the book, but she has already inside the lenses, so she doesn't use any reading glasses yet. So that's an interesting solution, because she is only study or reading book on the night before sleep, but she has the lenses on, so she for her is good the situation without glasses when before sleep. During the day, maybe sometimes she can use. Last point, orthokeratology, an excellent alternative to classic glasses and contact lenses in case of mild hyperopia and presbyopia also. In this case, it represents an alternative to surgery or multifocal glasses. So, in the right side, you have the same picture, half before treatment at the right zone, and the left zone after 1 night treatment. I think it's an interesting image. So, I have finished. Thank you all for the attention, and thank you again for this opportunity. Let's keep in touch. If you want to ask me anything, just write me and I'll answer you for any kind of questions. Okay, FB, I finished.
Thank you, Dr. Charles, for that wonderful cases which you shared with us. I think you put up all your efforts to put the images of the the fitting, and then we have the topo, we have the 3D map, we have the comparison, and it's really wonderful to see that. We do have some question here regarding the first case for the high myopia and for myopia control. So when it comes to the myopia management kind of an Ortho-K fitting, is it different compared to the vision correction option? So when you are putting Ortho-K for a patient for myopia control, and you have another patient for vision correction, is it the same or is it different?
Vision correct option is like a perfect correction with glasses, you mean?
For Ortho-K, like you have a kid who wants it for myopia control, for example, and you have an adult who probably needs it for just vision correction. The patient does not want to wear glasses, no contact.
I choose for both. Both is interesting. Yeah, don't worry. In myopia progression, you have two important things, both. So in the young guy that is myopic eye, has a myopic eyes, you will be a vision correction too. So you have to control myopia progression, and also you will be a good vision for every day. So it's good answer questions, but it's simple. Yeah, you can use for both, but sometimes the most frequently is for both in the same case.
Yeah. So will there be a difference in terms of choosing the lens? Would you do any changes? Let's say if you have a kid versus an adult, where you want to fit a kid for myopia progression, for myopia, that's the myopia management part, and you have
Yeah.
an adult where he or she just requires for vision correction, where we don't want to worry about myopia management. Do you think that it's a difference in fitting Ortho-K, or you will follow your same process?
Yeah, I follow the same process. Yeah,
Okay.
I do every 3 months a check. I have both the new instrument like biometer. I think is a good solution because we will have the dioptrics trend in the month and the years, and also you will have the axial length of the head for control of the grow up of the eye. So it's the same. I do for everyone 3 months check, and at the beginning we start for the same parameters, the same attention. The lenses, it's well centered to the cornea for both. We have to have the best fitting every time.
Okay. And do you think there will be a difference in the treatment zone, the size probably? I don't know. I recall it reading somewhere. I may be wrong, but they say that for myopia control, the treatment zone size should be smaller compared to the normal vision correction Ortho-K. Is that right? What I remember? I don't know.
Yeah, it's better. It's better to have a smaller zone. Yeah, than the That's an interesting. It's an interesting point. Yeah, but I usually do the same kind of treatment. The
Yeah.
footprint. We have the same for. I have over 500 guys from 10 years of practice. So each one is like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as very rightly said, the process still remain the same.
Yeah.
The wonderful point which you mentioned is the lens always has to be centered. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. That's an important thing.
Very important. That's right. Thank you. Thank you so much. And let's look at another question. So when it comes to the hyperopic Ortho-K fitting, which you showed us, since the central area, because we are actually building the central area as you are mentioning. So will there be any increase in aberration because it is covering the pupillary area? Anything to add on?
Yeah. I see. Yeah, I see. But you have to think like multifocal soft contact lenses. It's quite the same. So the most important thing is the motivation of a person, how wants how does she want to be without glasses, the motivational inside, I don't know the exact name, but I want to be, I don't want to use glasses.
That's
Okay,
right.
I don't want it. So the motivational factor of a person or patient is important because depends. If you have patients not so clear with itself, maybe you can try before a soft multifocal contact lens. Yeah, you can try 1 or 2 months. Next, if you will have a good chance, you can try. And other thing, if you want to be safe and clear, you can try. You can order the final lenses. You can choose a special price for the patient, not for the final. If you want, if you can pay one more quite minus than the normally, and you can try. If you will be okay, you can try. We can do the upgrade for the final pricing maybe, or in the other case, but stop. You can stop, and you will return to the beginning in some days. So the aberration is important when you have driving the car by the night. I know there is a problem maybe, but the first thing you have to think is about the centering of the lens, and the motivation of the person in the case. You understand, FB? Okay.
Yeah. I think
Explain.
that's
That's interesting. It is an interesting question. Maybe we wait to speak about it for 1 hour, because it's a huge argument. It's important, very important. Nice questions. If you want, Asha, Parek, we can speak by email. We can send me. We can send it together. We can speak about it.
Sure. So I think you did cover two very important points here. One is patient's motivation, and you were right. The thing is patient's motivation, that the patient should be aware, and you should explain to them that the treatment takes
every time.
And the follow-up is important. We will monitor, and we'll take steps accordingly. So that's one. The other important point you also mentioned is, why don't you want to try a soft multifocal for some months, and let the patient experience it, and then convert them to Ortho-K, for example. So that can help.
Exactly.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Another thing, Fakri, that when you work with the young guy for myopia control or myopia example, it's more simple for us because he's a guy, he's young. When you work with the Ortho-K presbyopia, it's not so young. So she's working, she going around, she drives, she needs some other thing. So it's important to speak, to be clear with the person. First choice, first point.
That's very good. That's again a very important point as well. Speaking to your patient, explaining them, what they should be expecting, and it is of course a wonderful treatment, but then it's not something magic. You wear it one night, tomorrow your eyes will be perfect. So probably that really helps. Very good point.
Exactly.
Yeah. And let's just take the next question. Any limitations in terms of power for hyperopia? Until what hyperopia is very easy or probably the best to correct?
Yeah, of course. We have more limitation than myopia because we have to incurve the surface of the cornea. So we can't do the same. We can't have the same results like in a myopia situation, that we can go flatter. But the good news is that you can try. You can try, and however, at the end, you can stop and return to the beginning. But I personally have done until up 5 dioptrics of hyperopia.
Okay.
So maybe I think the perfect target is until about 3.60, 4.5 FB. Depends from the motivational thing. This is the first choice. The first point is motivational of the patient. So you will have a patient with +2 with plus 1.50 of addition of presbyopia that will be not happy with this treatment. Or you will have 60 years old hypermetropic subject with +4 hyperopia associated +2.5 of addiction, is very happy. So it's fantastic. So things changing by case. So again, the perfect tower is under 5, 4, 5. Depends from the diameter of the pupil.
Okay.
There are a lot of things you can, but yeah.
Okay, that's good. I think, as you said, 3 to 4 diopter is quite safe. 5 is what your experience is. Probably you can try, but the safest range would be about +3 to +4, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. And a couple of more questions here. Uh, what is the replacement schedule? Is it every 3 months the patient has to change hyperopic Ortho-K, or it's the same like myopia Ortho-K? Is it different?
No, it's the same. But it's important to see the patient every 3 months for the thing that we speak before.
Okay.
For other points.
That's right. Yeah. So the follow up, the aftercare has to be every 3 months. That's
I
safe.
think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone do 6 months. I usually do 3 months.
Usually do 3 months. Okay. Okay. And the modality would be yearly disposable. Every year the new lens has to be changed, right? It's not.
Of course.
Yeah.
So at the end of the year, we can re-put on the lenses on, and we can do overlap refraction, fluorescein examination, and you can try for getting better the situation if any things will be changed.
Okay. And just the last question before we, end for today. Any experience on high astigmatism which you have fitted with Ortho-K? Would you like? I mean, it's out of the today's topic, but just that if you would like to tell us something about high astigmatism and your experience fitting them with Ortho-K.
Yeah, I usually do it astigmatism cases, but it's not so frequently, because I like work with the patients, motivational patients. When you have high astigmatism with a 40 years old subject, he drive, he works, he travel, the motivational factor is important. So first point is this one. And my astigmatism I've done until 4 dioptrics associated with -1 of myopia.
Okay.
A great result, but just one. The other cases are more are down, so 350 or 2. Yeah, you have to choose your patient. Okay. I think
that's right. That's right. Yeah, patient selection is important, and I think up till 3.5 to 4 diopters of astigmatism can be actually treated, and toric Ortho-K are available in some part of the world. Some part I think it's still yet to come out, but there are opportunities for putting them on.
Depends by the myopia also. The myopia entity also. If you have a -6, is different from 0.50 associated with astigmatism. So it's a world about it. So it's nice, interesting questions, but we can speak for it for hours and hours.
That's right. Yeah. Again, a very good point. I think with each discussion, we are getting some tips that, it's not only the astigmatism, but the spherical power also needs to be considered. That will help you to get fittings. That's again a very good point also. Thank you so much. And somebody also mentioned on the chat that, the nighttime Ortho-K lenses are much tolerated than the daytime soft lenses due to the environmental issues. So again, that's probably one point which we can use to motivate and counsel patients. We can tell them that you can be spectacle free, You can be soft contact lens free. We are giving you these new option Ortho-K lens, and you can wear these lenses and sleep. And I think very good point also to initiate patient motivation and patient counseling to make sure that they understand as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Dr. Charles, for taking us through the cases and answering the questions, and being so kind to share your details. And
Thank you, P, for this opportunity. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me.
most welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Just to keep the attendees reminded, we do have session planned tomorrow, but do be reminded that it's tomorrow in the morning. So the times are mentioned on the screen. I will see you all again tomorrow morning. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, P. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Much. Thank you, Dr. Charles.